Alright, let's get on with this. It's gonna be a proper beating for me. Woo. And it'll be over in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 iterations. The solar flare situation, it's been slightly high for the day, but it's dropping as we reach 17:15. There was a high at 12:15 UTC. Yeah, today. But yeah, right now it's looking good. It's looking good. There's been a wobble, and a high, and it's kind of wobbling again. So you might be expecting it to wobble again. So I'll get it's more zapping. It's more zapping. I think it might go down and then wobble again. So there'll be a little zapping, but I doubt. Well, 1:30. That's 11 hours. Nah, another one would be shit. It's been 5 hours. 5 hours. Yeah, another one will be somewhere during the night if it's to go by that, but it's not predictable though. And that's the beauty of it. Neither is my shit. Random as fuck, in a way, kinda, but there's a small cheat. I'm a human being after all. I've got to put in a little back door. Nah, it's not back door. Yeah, I'm a scientist, that's all. Yeah. So, everybody ready? Battle station, joystick, radar lock is on. Any demon that I see, we're gonna have a showdown. Demons wanna take on me. I must warn y'all, if you live inside of me, you better run, dog. Alright, let's get ready for it. Oh, look, I'm not even set up properly. Yeah, let's get ready for it. Let's get ready for it. You know, it's my ship, and I run it with an iron fist. Yeah. Alright. If there's any disagreements, get the hell out of there now. It's about to kick off. Ready for kick off. Alright. Two moons energy, remember? With my exercise, I look for relevant truth. I will not tell you what that is. But there's things that are true about something. Yeah, there are multiple things which are true about any object. But the relevant truth is what you go with. Yeah. If you're someone who makes orange juices, yeah, and somebody tells you, and then you say, okay, I need oranges for that. And then somebody tells you, you know that oranges can be used to play tennis. Yeah, they'll burst and everything, but you can get off one shot. Or maybe baseball, if you hit it right. And you're like, how's that relevant to me making orange juice? It's true though, but it doesn't mean that we'll do that when we're making orange juice. If the task is to make orange juice, that truth is relevant to me. So there's a relevant truth to what I'm doing, and there's multiple truths. Yeah. What I will hate is the bitching and crying that comes from people, where I'm like, I'm not even trying to do you, I'm trying to heal myself. And doing you is a side effect which we'll have to investigate. Because one of the theories I have is that people are saying inside my head and they're fooling around with me. So why would I be doing anyone from doing myself? Unless somebody was in there fooling around with me, I think. Yeah. So that would be relevant information in a way. But to tell me that what I'm doing in my head is screwing you, I'm like, what the hell do you mean? There's nothing I should be doing to myself that should be affecting you. Yeah, the battle for autonomy. It depends on how pleasant society is. But when I'm in a situation where it's like a that one for me, a zero. In them ones there, it's that one for everyone as well. A zero. Yeah. You just enforce the boundary. Zero has a boundary. Where there's something, that's where zero ends. And things have boundaries. Where there's nothing of that object, that's where that object ends. So yeah, the boundary, space-time, is mass and energy. The boundary to energy is space-time. If you're conceptualizing things right. The boundary to your consciousness is where you are not. The boundary to my consciousness is where I'm not. And I'm trying to measure that. That's relevant information to me. This is how you do conscious dimensions. You don't talk about meters and things like that. You talk about there and not there. As a boundary. Metaphorical, metaphysical boundaries is what you deal with. So if you're in a society where you can breach their boundaries, then in that society, you shouldn't be too harsh when they breach yours. But when they tell you that you're to breach no one, yeah, you make sure that none of them, no one breaches you. No one for no one. Like an eye for an eye. So if I was in a much more pleasant existence, then I won't be doing this like every day. I'll still be doing it a little bit, but not every day. But we're in a society where people are like, you better not be touching any of our things. You have to be the same. You don't argue with them and complain about how they're being unfair. Existentialism, isn't it? You should reply with, you better not touch any of mine too. That's the correct response. A, don't touch my things, for A, don't touch my things. And it's biblical sense. Yeah? But most of you get that wrong. Somebody tells you can't touch my things and you start bitching and crying about it. Yeah, he won't let me touch his things. He just doesn't want you to. You should reply with, okay, don't touch mine. That's how you deal with that. So what's the problem? I don't understand why people have disputes in this life. There's no need for that. It's uncalled for. I'm in a society where they don't want me to touch nothing. So I am enforcing the boundary by making sure I don't touch their things and I make sure they don't touch mine. That's my existence right now. So I'm broadcasting. That's why I told people from other dimensions, yeah, or entities from other dimensions, stay off this one, because like I'm in a situation where I'm not allowed nothing, so I have to make sure that they don't touch nothing. That's my task now, isn't it? Otherwise, it would have been my fault. Have all my shit touched when I didn't prevent it at all. Whose fault? Who do you blame for that? You should have done something to stop them. So I'm doing that now. Even it's good for me psychologically. It's not nice to be told that you're not allowed to this and that, but to feel like you're doing something about it also makes you feel good. Yeah. So this is for my psychological health as well as my physical health. It makes me feel like a champion, like somebody who can do something about my predicament. Psychological healing as well. Yeah. Or battle stations and things like that. Yeah. It's good for me to feel like I can do something back to me. You know? But that's my existence. I'm not allowed to touch nothing. So they're not allowed to touch nothing at all. That's how we do it here. It's no problem for me. It shouldn't be a problem for anyone. But those of you who want to touch my mind from remote locations, very remote locations from me, you got to know. Yeah, I don't want to hear complaints about, oh, what you're doing in my mind is affecting you. You shouldn't be touching there, because I'm in a situation in this world where I'm not allowed to touch nothing. So I have to enforce that boundary of not allowing people to touch me, any of my shit. That's what I'm doing when I'm here. Yeah? You want to ask me what am I doing? Yeah? First of all, you shouldn't be touching without seeing me, right? Yeah? And then, nah. So it's from the kindness of my heart that I'm even broadcasting this and telling you this. Yeah, to deal with the crying that would inevitably start. Stop asking me why I'm doing this in my mind. I'm in a situation where I'm not allowed to touch nothing. In that situation, I have to enforce the boundary of not allowing them to touch mine. Touch my shit. That's what I'm doing. When I'm in a different situation, things can run different. Like they used to in old time, where I was allowed to touch shit. But I moved on to carrying on like I'm banned. So if I'm banned, you have to enforce the ban. They're banned. If people say they ban you from interacting with other human beings, you have to ban other human beings from interacting with you to give them what they want. It's what they want. And it gives me a chance to grow my relationship with the Most High, to gain a deeper understanding. Some of the things you see as punishment might actually be a healing, you know. It's just you who didn't understand it, you know. I might get a little beating as I'm doing this here, but I'm sure you'll heal me after. From the sun, that is, yeah. From Ra. They used to call the sun Amun, or how the Abrahamics would say Amen, because Abrahamics were slaves in Egypt for 400 years. You know how the transatlantic slave trade led people to be slaves here for 400 years? When you ask them to think of the Creator, they say God. But that's the word that their slave master gave them. That's not the original one that they got. So when they came out after 400 years, they were the same thing. They're still using the word Amun. It's just the way, that's the culture they got. Had been transformed. Yeah. Yeah, sound healing. You know. Most of you say Shit. Those were the two different ways of doing it in ancient times. What was the other one? In Sumeria was unit. Yeah. I can't remember. I wasn't there, but I'm just going by literature. Some of it might have been politically influenced. I don't know. You can derive truth from the nonsense that they put out. Nothing beats eyewitness accounts, innit? So unless you've seen that shit yourself, you're only taking somebody else's word for it. That's a dangerous thing to do now, isn't it? So what I know about the Most High, I base it mostly on experience. If experience matches literature, like scripture, then to me that's the validation of scripture. Yeah, my experience validates scripture. You don't use another man's experience to validate scripture, you use your own one. Yeah, but where they've got things in there that don't match my experience, or where they've got things in there when I can see that, well, they're still doing it now, that is clearly politics that leaned on them. Like look at the jab, we weren't allowed to speak about it. Scientists who objected were shadow banned. Yeah, like they're taking sides, and you shouldn't choose between scientists. But things like that were happening to the Bible as well. So you can read it in scripture, you can see some things were clearly put there by the victor to try and make sure that he don't look too bad. Yeah. So and when you look at your experience today, you can still see politicians doing that to religion, science. They're still doing things like that to that. So you can read that in scripture, which was constructed in the West from the Nicene Creed that Constantine put together. Constantine was equivalent to a major world leader today. Just imagine a major world leader put together the book. You want for it to make him kind of look good and heroic and that, innit? So Constantine was no different. It's like that. Yeah. The fact that we know that we can't talk about certain things, that's always been happening, and the Bible has been describing that. So when you read it, you could see certain scriptures and you're like, okay, they were talking like this because they weren't really allowed to elaborate too much, because they were under duress somehow. Yeah, a compromise. They all said they never compromised, but I think they did when you read that. Yeah, some people can make you feel like you want to compromise without actually telling you that you have to compromise. You can read all that, and even that's right. That's worth reading. You can make it a task for yourself to see passages in the Bible that you reckon were there because of political leanings, and you can base it on how they lean on people today to see if that matches how they were leaning on them then. These people have never changed for thousands of years. They lean on us the same way. They've never changed the way to do things. So at least the devil described in the Bible is consistent. What I've noticed here is about adding in your own flavor. Every victor that's ever won religion has added in their own flavor. Now we've got Christmas trees and Santa and Rudolph. Everybody added in a little something. When it came to Africa, I'm sure we've added in something there as well. You got to add in your own flavor to make it yours, innit? So even iconography, they wanted to appropriate it, but they should have just kept their own version to themselves. And they did to an extent, anyway. Anyway, what was I rambling on about? Oh yeah, I was talking about scripture. That's a good thing. You got to separate bullshit from the real thing. Based on experience, what you witnessed. If you call a race, well, that was true. If it doesn't, you look at how politicians lean on people nowadays, how the system leans on people, I should say, not just politicians. Even politicians get leaned on. You see how the system leans on people and subtract that, you should be able to say, like kind of getting a nudge wink from the past. I can't show you my wink because I'm wearing I was doing one. Yeah, so I wouldn't say take it with a pinch of salt, but always verify with personal experience. Don't take no one's word for it when it comes to knowing the Most High. You go through it of your own experience. What I'm wrestling with, not flesh and blood. Might be astral body from someone who's flesh and blood, but it's not. In my experience, them ones there is true. Because when the lesser gods try to fight me, it's their astral bodies that project into me for the fight, not their physical bodies. You don't see any physical body around me, but it's people's astral projecting into me for the fight as we speak. The revolution will not be televised. Remember them ones? In that form there itself is not flesh and blood. It's an astral form. People attack me with their astral bodies every day. Preaching. Buckets and spades on the seashore, but the big ship still spewing out more crude oil, corrupting our youth, and they act like we just can't. Look to the big sea, seek your enemies. Look to the big sea, I can see your enemies. Let's dedicate time, intellectual, to fighting international webs of the sea, webs of the sea, webs of the feet, bringing defeat. But they still can't believe that. But they still can't believe that we still exist, still promoting black killing black. And if you try fight, you better watch your back. Anyway, buckets and spades on the seashore, but the big ship still spewing out more crude oil. So basically, you got to cut the head off the beast, otherwise you're wasting your time, not getting anywhere real quick. But every little helps though, cause if you're a big tree, fair use, we are a small axe, ready to cut you down, to cut you down. Yeah. Anyway, this is what I'm doing. It's like a small axe, what I'm doing. But eventually I'll cut down that big tree. Eventually. Never give up. You know? What did I say? Ooh, I get the whole one of that. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Woo. A proper beating. I'm giving myself a proper beating. Shit. Even that's a what? Okay. I want shit. Okay, the thing is still on, what's it on? Yeah, there you go. Still low. Alright, no problems. Okay. So if you ever need to ask me about what I'm doing, yeah, I hope these talks have been talks, these sessions, yeah, will provide you with enough information. So I don't want to hear your bitching. I've got to enforce a boundary, yeah. That's how they see it where I'm at. That's how it is, yeah. It's not a problem to me because at least I get to enforce the boundary, But it might be a problem to those who try to touch my mind. Just lay off it. If you find that you're adversely affected by what I'm doing, first of all, you shouldn't be in there in the first place. Just lay off it. I don't want to hear your bitching, innit? They don't want me to touch any other human being, yeah? And I don't want any other human being to touch me. Suits me fine. I've never wanted other human beings to trouble me and touch me and that, but if they say that they don't want me troubling them and touching them, that's an ideal opportunity for me to be the way I want to be, which is not have my motherfuckers touching me. And it's them who call for it. So it's ideal, isn't it? Sometimes you don't argue with someone when you see them shooting themselves in the foot. You don't. You let them do it. How are they going to learn not to be stupid? You've got to learn the hard way. If you tell a lemming that if you walk off that cliff, you'll die, and he walks off it, you let him do it. Yeah, we've got to look after the human race. There's a reason why animals become extinct. Dumbass reasoning. Yeah? You let it become extinct, the stupid fuck. The human race could do without it, But do tell it what's right, though. It's your Christian duty to inform it, but not to force it. His blood will be on his own head if he fucking runs over a cliff and dies. Yeah? You just told it the information, give it the advice, and just wash your hands and feet off it if it chooses to ignore it. Never stop someone from deciding their own destiny. It's like Star Trek. It's a Federation directive. When you find something that's primitive, don't interfere with this destiny. Don't get emotionally attached to stupid things. If somebody comes up with dumb reasoning, you remove your heart and mind from them because you might lose that one. Yeah, if you allow it to realize its dreams, and you allow it to realize its dreams, if it dies off, at least it doesn't hurt you so much because you didn't have your heart and mind to it. That's how I see things. That's why if you choose to follow a dodo into extinction, I'll let you do it. Like, I don't want to be the one that destroyed your dreams. I told you stupid though, but I won't stand in your way. So, I want the bitching to stop. It's polite society here, yeah? You don't touch people's things and you make sure your things ain't touched. There's no bitching here. So I don't want that shit there to ruin the peace that was created here. Yeah, I don't touch their things and I slap them up if they touch me. My mind, that is. Yeah? You can't say hi to people and touch them and everything. But, right. Famous teacher out there tells you the rule of thumb, innit? No snow bunnies, innit? You know what I'm talking about. And that brings peace. Yeah. And yet touching none of that, but none of that is touching me. And you keep your mind free of them. Yeah. Even your mind, make sure they don't touch there. You don't touch them, they don't touch you. And make sure they don't touch your mind either. And you should be fine. Should be fine. That's what I'm doing. Anything that made of snow that touches my mind will melt. Yeah. And we have peace. Largely. So when I'm in them situation there, no touching. If you're bro, yeah? When I'm with you, I'm sure you're not gonna be telling me that I can't touch nothing. If you are, same treatment. There's nothing racial about this. Whenever somebody feels like that about me, I will enforce that for you. I'll give you what you want. Okay. And that way, like as a bro, you get to run your thing without being like a mind. You don't want your woman to be getting extra energy from someone now, do you? I've got to tell you this, innit? They'll be easier to control if they weren't getting unsanctioned energy, Your man should have all the energy you need. Yeah, because me, you know what I want for my energy to be used. If that's a problem to you, that's okay. Just don't touch my energy though. That's alright though, but don't touch my energy though. Alright. Get it from your man. Nothing's nowhere gonna touch my shit. Nothing made of any fucking thing. When I'm here, nothing. It's not just about snow or cold. Nothing gonna be touching that. Which is what I'm trying to say, but no one's listening to. But they could touch, but they'll get zapped up though. But when I'm in much more pleasant or laid back, easygoing surroundings, I'm sure things will be different in those kind of surroundings where no one's gonna feel like I shouldn't be allowed this and that, and everybody is alright and comfortable seeing me getting, then that will be alright. But in them ones there, where people's not comfortable seeing you getting, I'm not comfortable seeing them getting. It's like that. Capitalism, man, come on. You know what I mean, man, come on. I'm a capitalist, what can I say? Pay me before touching, pay me before touching. I told you already. And I agree with you. You know, you only got one life to lead. Your mind gave you it, so you can't have people overly touching anything of you, your mind, body, and soul. They depreciate it. You better make sure you get something whenever your mind, body, and soul is touched. If they tell you your body's not allowed to get nothing, well, yeah, your body's not allowed to get nothing. The healing energy you get from my mind is equivalent to the healing energy I get from being with woman. So if you want to switch off that tap, I got to switch off this tap. Because there's no replenishment. Symbiosis has to occur. If there's no symbiosis, I'll run out of me. What a woman does to me is what my mind does to you when you touch, isn't it? But to say that you don't want me touching woman, I'll need to replace that. When you get it off my mind, I'll need to replace it. But if I'm not gonna, man, switch off the tap. Suits me fine. And I get to work on my relationship with the Most High. It's a win-win situation, so I could say no to that. But the bitching that comes from people from outside, that's what I'm saying, man. It's just the way it is now, isn't it? For capitalism's sake. Yeah. You can't allow people to touch you for free. You depreciate. After they use you up, they won't need you. And you'll still need things. You're supposed to be getting those as they're using you. People using your mind, get something for it. Using your body, get something for it. Come on, it's basic, man. Basic capitalism 101. What was the very first profession there was? Yeah, you should learn the principles. We all homes, in a way, if you think about it. You all get paid to do manual labor or intellect. You all get paid for some part of your body to be used. Your mind, your body. Some part of your body gets used for payment. There's two ways to use money. You can get a note and make a paper plane with it. You use money that way. Or you can go and buy a toy plane and play with it. Or use it that way. Right? Either way. You're going to get paid when you use. There's people who buy money. There's a vintage coin. It's just somebody will pay $10 for a 1950s, nickel or something. Yeah. So that's using money as a product that the actual product. Yeah. Either way, you're going to get paid for what you have. So there's using my mind where you ask me to solve an equation for you that way, and then there's using my mind by actually touching my mind like a battery you're using. And the two ways of using it, either way, if you do to use it like for problem solving, pay for that. If you want to use it as a battery, pay for that. John in the Money. That's the film it reminds me of. You can't use it that way. I'm charging you for that too. I'm not the whole of Babylon, so I've only got 1 hour. And it's this one, by the way. Yeah, if you want this to stop, 150,000 for it. Otherwise, this is how I heal myself. You give me 150 G's, I can afford to get good health cover. Because I can't, you give me 150 G's or I heal myself, and that's it. Because if I'm not going to be touching woman, I've got to heal some other way, which is to remove excess static, which is what people are when they touch my mind. Anyway. And it worked for me. Shit, I thought there would be another bump, but it's just gone down, it hasn't gone up. So you could use it for problem solving, pay me. You want to use it as a battery to heal you, you pay me for that. You're not even Christian anymore, right? You're saying that you're not on that yet. So you can't. If you was Christian, you wouldn't be telling me that I'm not allowed none. It's capitalism, man. But it's Christian. But if you tell me I'm not allowed none, it's capitalist. You'll be treated like a capitalist, because if you're Christian, you can't be telling me I'm not allowed none. What about your Christian heart about I'm not allowed none? So anyway, it's a capitalist. You can't use it that way. But when I'm with people where it's a Christian thing like that, where I'm allowed to touch your women, then if I'm touching your life, with women who can, the women of this world, will be Mary Magdalene types. No. Yeah, that's a naughty joke. I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about if you're a real woman. Those ones who are little girls inside that don't know what the real world looks like. I can't do no deal with you. If I go from you, get whatever you want from a man, innit? A woman who's on a freedom thing, yeah, will talk as equals if you're free of them. But those of you who are not, I can't do no deal with you, get it from your man. Those of you who are free like that will talk like equals. If you're to fool around with my life force, I'm to fool around with yours as equals. Yeah? No, I've never had no problem with the Mary Magdalenes of this world. It's the other fake women. Anyway, not saying nothing. Whoa, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 5th iteration, yeah? Woo. You know what? Talking through it makes it go easier. I was beating myself up, but I beat myself up that much. Yeah, not far to go. Yeah, that's alright. Doesn't feel so bad. Shit. Oh yeah, I've been. Wow, what am I? What was I doing? I'm sure I was cutting down someone. Forgot the conversation I was doing. And it was a delicious conversation as well. Damn it. I've forgotten. Yeah. Okay. Alright, let me just do a bit. Anyway, so you've seen what I'm doing. Nothing much. Just sitting down doing nothing. Doing involves an act in the physical space-time continuum, yeah? An act on this physical space-time continuum. That's what doing is about. A verb describes an act on the physical space-time continuum. I'm sitting here not acting on the space-time continuum, so you can't say I did anything. I thought things, but did no. Okay, I'm not doing anything. So next time you wonder what that noise is, get out of my mind, yeah. But in terms of doing something, no, you can't say do. You involve yourself in worshipping me if you start talking about what in my mind, if seeing in my mind is something I'm doing. Yeah, only something that's a subset of me. If you riddle me this and riddle me that, we'll be seeing there. You involve yourself in worshipping me if you come up with such dumb comments and beliefs like that. Yeah, you can't. Don't choose to put yourself underneath me by being in my mind, because the only thing you can be in my mind is underneath me. So don't choose that. If the thought of me being above you, you hate that so much, don't choose to shrink yourself to fit into me, because you have to be underneath me to exist in there. So if you hate being underneath me, don't be inside me, because that's what it means. Like, well, I've got a type of conscious brain, and it can't mean anything else. You can't stop my power. You got all two cultures of meditators and witches and whatever shit you want to throw at it, and you still can't stop my power. So you just got to accept that if you enter my mind, you're going to be underneath me. As I'm under Mrs. Simila, I can see my frenemies getting weaker. Coming out of this property, I'm getting stronger, getting wiser, older, like I told you. Yeah. The truth that we're not comfortable with. Knowing that you're seeing in my mind is a truth I'm not comfortable with. But if you want to chat, then we'll be talking about things that we're not comfortable with. If you're going to talk about the contents of my mind now, aren't we? Knowing that you're watching that is something I'm not comfortable with. So if you want to talk about things we're not comfortable with, I hope this conversation, these sessions, will provide enough whenever you ever feel like, because like, if I am affecting you with what's happening in my mind, I'll chat to you. You must narrate your own story. When would I be famous? As soon as I realize that the voices in my head are an audience. Remember, when I'm here, I don't get, so I don't loud now, yeah? When I'm here. When you see me in other locations, then we'll talk about loud. We don't even have to talk about it. As soon as I try to get something, if you make it known that I'm not loud now, then fuck that. I'll still be like this, innit? We don't have to talk about that. Yeah, I just need to know how it goes for me, you know? We don't make each other uncomfortable by talking about things, innit? You just get the gist of it and say, shit, do I need to zap when I'm here? Because, like, I need to fuck like yesterday. If I'm not gonna do that, I'm gonna need to heal myself, like, you know? No, then you gotta heal yourself quick before you die out. Yeah, it's about figuring this shit out. If I can move by itself, I'm sure. No, I didn't. Did it? I'll check that. Check that. Rewind it a bit if you're watching it back. Now, the final beating, everything looks flat on the solar flare count. The last one. So remember, to summarize, I'm here, that means I'm zapping. And that's how I heal. And it's for capitalist reasons as well. The only way to stop this zapping is to give me 150 grand. You don't have it. Oh, that's very unfortunate. Not my problem. We're capitalists here. You don't have, you don't get. My fridge is empty like promise I got when my girlfriend told me that she'll be calling, but she don't have. I don't have, we don't get. She don't have. She texted me, told me to take her shopping. My wallet told me to tell her stories. I don't have, she don't get. It's like that. Capitalism stories. Let's make it work. Let's make things work. Capitalists have the same problem. I'm sure a restraining order works both ways, right? Somebody asks you to keep me off them. If you could please keep them off me, I'll be grateful. If you told me to keep off them, also make an effort to keep them off me, that would be great. Otherwise, you would have protected them from me, but I'll be open to being attacked by them. And you also protect me. When they ask for me to stay off them, also make sure they stay off me if you want to judge straight. Otherwise, you're causing a problem. Yeah. People treat you like a private army then. You're supposed to serve all of us. That's the gap that I'm dealing with. People asking the system to make sure I stay off them, and then they start trying to take my soul from me. But I'm covering it with this now. Yeah. That's why I'm doing this. Because the system will turn up and watch to make sure I don't touch her, and then she'll start eating my soul away. But I had this when that moment came. Started convulsing and shit, and systems like, what's going on? All they're seeing is me sitting here, and they believe that she's not doing anything. So she can't tell them nothing. I want it written down. Then we'll have to ask her what she was doing, trying to take my soul from me. So you see, this is the divine power that protects me from those energy vampires. If you touch your mind long enough, you actually die from it. I don't mean to scare you, but this is an existential threat, and I need to do this. When I'm around people who feel like I should have nothing in life, there's funny things they end up doing, and if you don't have a protection, your life will be taken away from you. Well, your soul anyway. So whenever you meet a situation where the general feelings that you shouldn't be allowed to even have when they're like that, you really need to have a power like mine. If you don't, get out of that situation. I even talked to a counselor and told me, do not be in that situation. I said, but I didn't know how to type free conscious breaker. Well, I told him. I told the psychologist, and I said, no, it's not mental health service you need. You need to talk to like-minded individuals, you know what I mean? So I looked around, I saw enough. TIs helped me as well. Yeah. Some of them were people who can find information that can be useful to you when you have conditions which are similar to mental illness but are not that. Yeah, so they helped me out quite a lot to find various sources of information. Yeah, so yeah. So I was a friend to that community as well. Yeah, I'm a friend to that community still. Yeah. But yeah, what you got to do is just like I found that it's similar to what religion was saying. Once you find out how the real world is, red pill, it's similar to what religion was saying in terms of going through it successfully. You respect people at all levels, respect what they consider to be the most high, the creator, whatever they call the creator, you respect that. You respect and honor them, yeah, and don't cheat, kill, watch what the next man's on, yeah, and you should be alright in this world. In terms of generating hate against you, those that are not flesh and blood that try to do that will find it very difficult if you haven't offended anyone. And also, you got to have a bit of bravery. You got to make sure that they give you the same respect you're willing to give them. Thy will be done on them ones on earth as it is in heaven. Try to bring about heaven on earth. Yeah, by applying the commandments fully and not with your skewed interpretations. They're always open to interpretation. You allow everybody to interpret what they mean by 10 commandments. As long as we're trying to bring those about, we should meet somewhere in the middle. One of my, pains or panels, like, on my sunglasses, yeah, it's acting weird, man. That man is what the fuck. It's kind of gone for me. No idea why. I don't know if that comes out in the recording. I need to know every time I go to a community, I ask them, am I allowed to touch woman here? Because I need to know how I'm going to heal myself. Night nurse. Fair use. Or is it going to have to be a religious one where I meditate and live like a Hamitic monk? If it's a society that feels like that, then it's a Hamitic monk thing. Yeah. That's the first thing you find out, to know how it's going to go. Yeah. I don't need woman really because I got this in it. So, yeah, so it's a Hamitic monk thing here. So I don't want people to ruin the peace by asking me silly questions. Everything you need to ask about my power and why I'm doing it, my motivations, is in these sessions. You'll find it in there. And I'm going to get back to it. Come 25th of November, that's when I'll stop with these sessions. And I'll get back to doing it. It'll still be days, but it just won't be broadcast live. Yeah. I'm sure they're tired of seeing me face those who watch me secretly, but I still needed to learn what I was doing. And there you are, I'm showing you. You can verify your shit. People's already verified me. If I'm the one, everybody will be feeling me inside them, and they don't need your permission to feel that shit. So you can tell them they're not feeling nothing, but it's up to you. They've all felt it for 8 years, so I'm sure everybody would have wanted to know. They've all verified it. It's just you just being silly enough to think that and you can hide it. Where you're trying to control people and hide the truth, so you shadow ban me. This is the truth that people know from inside their souls. You can't hide this. You look pathetic for trying to do it as well. If you want respect, looking that pathetic won't get it. You never understood the passion of Christ. Why they never respected you for killing Christ? You still don't get it. Alright, then there won't be a second sacrifice though. That shit there comes at a price. If you want to sacrifice, look to Christ. He was your sacrifice. You won't get a second one. Do you think this shit there comes for free? You think people like Christ are for free? You just mark them whenever you see them? That shit there costs money, man. Divine money. You need to pay for that shit. If you attempt it again, you're all gonna. I ain't never gonna ask for nobody to be forgiven nothing. I even asked in 2019, so Wahidi dropped to my knees, pleaded with him, finish them, please, make a new peeps, evil EP, make a new peeps, evil is P, make. And I already begged the Lord to finish you off. I remember the fucking song. You hear it when it come out. But there's no bitching here. I'm zapping them. If they are touching my mind, they're getting zapped up for it. You don't see me bitching. I'll get back to it, but I have the feeling that my power might resonate beyond half. And so occasionally I'll be dealing with type 0, 1, 2, and 3 conversations. It'll be kind of similar to what I'm doing now. I'll be talking to you, carrying on like you're not listening to me, but I know you are. I know you need to hear why. That's why I listen to these talks, innit? That will educate you. Look, it's been a clean run. Nothing much happened there. Yeah. In terms of solar flares. I thought it would bubble up. No, nothing. Yeah, it's been fun. But I'm out.